This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. This is lesson 19 in this series that is all about strumming patterns and strumming principles. We've been doing so many great things in this series. In this lesson, we're going to look at a new technique wherein we're going to be muting the strings with a slapping technique. So we're going to slap the strings to mute them, create sort of percussive sounds. So there's a lot of different ways that we could actually mute the strings. So if I was playing a bar chord G, for example, and I lift up with my left hand, just release the tension so that I'm not holding those strings down, but so that my fingers still touching the strings, I will cause the strings to stop ringing. And that's a way to get a muted sound or to stop the strings from ringing for a rest. In this case, though, we're going to be slapping the strings when we get to the rest. So as we know, there are four things that contribute to a strumming pattern and the groove that results. One is the meter. Today we're going to be in 4/4 time with the two strumming patterns I have up here on the board. The second thing is the actual rhythm, which I'm going to go over. The third thing is the strumming direction, and I've got that written on the board and we'll go over that as well. The fourth thing is how we treat each rhythmic figure. For the moment, we're just going to let the chords ring over top of each other, except where we have these rests written and where we're going to actually slap the strings. And we're going to create that mute by slapping the strings. So on a G chord, if I just strum down and then slap, strum down and then slap. So I am slapping with my right hand to stop the strings from ringing, but it's also creating a little bit of percussive sound as those strings slap against the frets. So in the strictest sense, this probably isn't an entire rest type of mute because there is a rhythmic sort of percussive sound happening there, but this is what we're going to do where the rests are written in the strumming patterns, and the written thing is just helping us figure them out anyway. It's all about how we play, and when we write it down, we're just trying to communicate what we're doing in reality. So in reality, in this case, for the rests, we're going to be slapping those strings. So you want to get used to that. I've got a G chord. You can practice it with whatever chord, but you want to strum down and practice slapping those strings to mute. Just as simple as that. I'm just using that inside part of my hand, slaps those strings, creates the mute. Now, my left hand, out of probably instinct, is actually lifting up a little bit on those strings as I do that as well. Okay, so let's insert this into the first strumming pattern. I've got it up here on the board. We're going to start out by going down, up. We got 2 8th notes back to back, and then we have the rest, wherein we're going to do the slap. So down, up, slap. And you can just do that on a G chord. I'm playing the 4-fingered G chord. So index at that 2nd fret on the 5th string, then middle at the 3rd fret on the 6th string, then ring finger goes to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, pinky on that top. So I'm using that G if you want to play what I'm playing. So we go down, up, slap, down, up, slap. You just want to get used to that movement. The next thing that we're going to do in the strumming pattern is a down strum. We've got on the and of 2 here, we got a syncopated quarter note over tying over to beat 3. So you'd have down, up, slap, down, and 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 down, up, slap, down. Just like that. And you can do that as many times as you need to. And then on the back part of this strumming pattern, we have up, down, up on beats and 4 and. So the whole thing sounds like down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down. Now you could also do it with just muted strings as you get used to it, not worrying about what your left hand is playing. And we'd have down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up. With this strumming pattern, some of my in-person students have wondered why not do an up strum, because this is on the off beat or the and of 2. But I find when doing that slap that my pick is positioned in the place to do a down strum, and it just sounds nice after the slap to do a down strum. Down, up, slap, down. Whereas if I went down, up, slap, and I want to do up, I have to bring my hand down to then bring it up. But it is possible to do it that way as well. It's just a little more awkward once you get it going, and the sound of the down strum I think sounds great here. But as you know, we can change up any of these strumming patterns by changing up this strumming direction. So that is a possibility, but we're just going to do down, up, slap, down, up, for this one. Once we've got that, we can go ahead and plug it into a chord progression. I've got one up here on the board. G, C add 9, G, D, G, C add 9, D, G. This might not be an automatic chord progression. So you have the G that I just mentioned. To play C add 9, all you have to do is move your index and middle fingers to the next strings. So index is at the 2nd fret of the 4th string, middle is at the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then the rest stays the same. For D, it's just the regular old D chord. So if we do this chord progression with down, up, slap, down, up, we have 1, 2, ready, and... Great. Let's take it a little bit slower. So we'll do this at a couple different tempos. It's good for you to practice it at different tempos. Practice it slow, fast, and in between. Changes it a little bit. The tempo actually influences the groove. We could say that as well. Tempo does influence the groove, so, and the strumming pattern. But we're going to go 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Take it back a little bit faster. Down, up, slap, down, up, 1, 2, ready, and... Now we could take it super fast. We'd have 1, 2, ready, and... Just like that. Now, I'll create one variation here with this one. We'll swing the eighth notes. We've been using even eighth notes. If you've seen this in previous lessons, you know that even eighth notes or straight eighth notes is where those eighth notes or the subdivision of the beat have an equal amount of time given to them. And if we swing the eighth notes, we're going to push those that are on the offbeat further back into the beat, creating a swung eighth note feel. So in this case, I'll slow it down a little bit. We'd have down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up. Now the tricky part about this is it actually makes this up strum and that slap go pretty close together. But we'll go ahead and do it this way. We have 1, 2, ready, and... Take it a little bit faster, it's a little bit easier that way. So you have 1, 2, ready, and... I personally don't ever play it that way, or haven't yet played it that way in an actual song, but you could. I wanted to do that though because it sets us up for this next strumming pattern. The trickiest part of swinging that is actually bringing this further back into the beat. But let's take a look at the second strumming pattern up here on the board, where essentially we've basically done that with the first figure, but the rest stay as even eighths or straight eighths. So we've got a dotted eighth note followed by a 16th note. So we've pushed that up strum further back into the beat, as far as we can get it really. And then we're going to slap, and then the rest is the same. Down, up, down, up. So in this case, down, up, slap. You just want to work that. Down, up, slap. Down, up, slap. Down, up, slap. And then the rest stays the same. So down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, slap, down. This changes the feel a little bit. Go ahead and plug this into the chord progression. So you're going to have 1, 2, ready, and... At different tempos. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. So we're going to have 1, 2, ready, and... Speed it up a little bit, so you have 1, 2, ready, and... And of course we can take it fast, so 1, 2, ready, and... Super fun. At least I think it's super fun. So, there are other ways that we could manipulate things with this strumming pattern. I'm not going to go over that in this particular lesson, though in some of the lessons I have shown other ways that we can treat the rhythms, but I don't necessarily need to do that here. We're just working on this new slapping technique. In the next lesson, I'll have a couple more strumming patterns for you that also work on this slapping technique. So a couple more strumming patterns and some more practice with the slapping. It's going to be great. These lessons for this series are coming out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and will do so until this series has completed. There's other lessons on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, jazz lessons right now. So lots of great things, and then there's hundreds of lessons that are already on the channel that have aired previously. So lots of help. Hope you're having fun. Take care, and we will see you again.
If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.